Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the concept of defocusing. So what is defocusing? So defocusing helps us to remove our focus from something that prevents us from achieving our task or our goal. So if you look back to our previous video on one-on-one sparring, you're often told, in sparring, you're often told, never take your eyes off the opponent, always look eye. But if we're looking at a group survival situation, and you've got 5 or 6 or more people, which one of those people would you not take your eyes off? It doesn't really work like that. So we need to be looking around and not focusing on one particular individual. So it's not just with group encounters, it could also be just with a one-on-one. So there are other things that distract us from our goal. So if someone could be standing over us or they're quite intimidating, we're just looking at the person, wondering how we're going to solve this, rather than looking beyond that and looking how do we solve it. If someone's yelling at us, we focus on what they're yelling. If we feel a little bit of pain, we focus on the pain. If we get grabbed, we focus on the grab. And all those things make us focus on a particular thing, and all of a sudden we lose vision or sight of everything else. Even if, like I said, with pain, suddenly I feel the pain and, oh, that hurts, I feel like I'm doing something wrong, or I have an emotional response to that, I focus on the emotion, and then again, I completely lose sight of the bigger picture or what I'm trying to achieve. So the defocusing idea is something that helps us not focus on these things that don't serve us in achieving our goals. So this is often more difficult to apply this concept when we're actually dealing with just one person, because it is easy just to focus on just the one, whereas if there is a larger group, it is quite easy to not focus on just the one because there are more people to deal with. So if we are training this just with one person, we tell people, okay, don't focus on the person, which is pretty much the concept we just talked about. But what ends up happening is the people avoid looking at the person. It's like, okay, don't look at the person. I can see them in my periphery. That's all I really need to see. And that's true. You only really need to see them in the periphery to make an informed decision and respond appropriately. But what ends up happening is people just think, okay, don't look at the person, don't look at the person. And by ensuring you don't look at the person, you're actually focusing on the person. So it's not applying the concept correctly. But with one of our concepts of survival is freedom, it's that freedom to look around and see everything. So it's like, yes, I can see the person, but I'm also looking at everything else around, and I'm not restricted either way where my vision goes. And one question I was asked the other day was someone saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't feel confident that I can actually apply the strategies that we've learned, and therefore it's difficult for me to execute the actions. That's another type of grab from which you want to defocus. So it's an interesting question though, because, or an interesting issue rather, because the question of, do I feel confident that I can apply these things? So let's break that down a little further. So if I'm here asking myself the question, can I, let's just say it's one person, can I defeat this person? All right, so if I say, no, I don't think I can, I've automatically, instantly lost there. And I'm just going to lose. I've lost the mental game there. But if I say yes, if you say yes, I think, yes, I can defeat that person. I feel that I would approach it there with a lot less awareness. I'd probably feel a little bit complacent, and I wouldn't actually apply myself as well as I probably could if I didn't feel that 100% confidence that I could do it. Lacking that full confidence actually gives you a little extra edge. It creates that extra awareness. It taps into that survival mindset. So asking the question, can I defeat this person, actually works against me. So it's better not to ask that question at all. And when you think about it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I think I can defeat that person or not. The situation doesn't care about my confidence. The situation doesn't care what I think about it. The situation is there. And what I need to achieve doesn't change whether I'm confident or not. So this is another type of defocus where I defocus from my negative thoughts, my negative feelings, etc. And I focus solely on the task. Now, In another way, this also applies to our concept of parting that we talked about before, where we have our resistance points, but we actually focus on the point before it and the point after it. I need to get from point A to point B without too much concern about what's in the middle. That's actually a form of defocusing as well. So when looking at these resistances and identifying them and saying, oh yes, there's a big person there, or this problem's too big, or I don't feel like I can do this, you need to basically look at what defocusing does. Is it makes you look at, instead of the problem, it makes you look at the solution. What needs to be achieved? What's the task? What's the goal? How can I do this? Regardless of how I'm feeling. Often if you're a little less confident, it's better because you're more heightened. And in the early stages of when I was learning the concept of defocusing, I would take it literally. So I would see the person there or the group there, and I would immediately just defocus my eyes so I couldn't really see anything, which is a little bit correct, but it's not the full thing. And I found that when I was just doing that, my awareness and my mental sharpness decreased. So it's important to make sure that the defocus is not just the action of defocusing my vision, but making sure I'm not focusing on the things that don't serve me. And making sure what I do focus on is the task. The task at hand, I have to achieve this thing, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. So I hope this video was informative. I'm sorry Dennis wasn't here today. He's having a periodontal moment. Yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks very much.